Let's get into JoJo Siwa. Now, JoJo Siwa has been on quite a transformation this year, from a gay pop star to whatever she is now. I mean, I think she would be declared like bisexual, but the last we heard was on Celebrity Big Brother when she came out as queer. That was the same experience where she met her new boyfriend, Chris Hughes, and it looks like they are officially in a relationship. JoJo says she's head over heels for Chris, and it's no longer platonic anymore. She claims that their relationship has been a beautiful development, a beautiful connection, and I'm absolutely head over heels for him, and he's the same way. Their chemistry took off while starring on the Celebrity Big Brother, so we watched it all unfold on television, and now it's like we can't escape it. We see these two out and about on vacation at an adults-only resort in Mexico, or Chris posting pictures of these two laying in bed, and it looks like they don't have any clothes on. I mean, it looks like Chris is going to be Chris Siwa soon, because he's been hanging out with her parents, Jessalyn and Tom, posting them on his Instagram stories, at one point calling JoJo's father my boy. Now, there are a lot of reactions to this relationship. One, because JoJo went from, dating someone who's non-binary, who was born as a female. So, I mean, typically JoJo had dated women up until this point, so that's quite a shocking factor. And then we've got a 10-year age gap. Chris is like 32 and JoJo's like 22, but she's really giving off like 17, 16. When they say people become famous, they stop growing or maturing at the age they became famous. I feel like JoJo kind of fits into that category. I think she's a little bit more in control, but not really. She's still super naive. Squishy writes, I fully understand that she's a grown adult, but I really wonder how her parents feel about the 10-year age gap. Yeah, he was at her parents' house playing games with her dad, but calling him my boy is kind of weird, which I agree. Now, a lot of people blame Chris Hughes for the reason why JoJo and Kath had split up. Keep in mind that these two, Kath and JoJo, were talking about marriage and having kids at one point. And then Kath, like the rest of us, had to watch on television as JoJo seemingly cheated on them. Kath spoke out again at first, but it looks like they're speaking out once again. The Australian DJ took to the podcast Conversations with Kath for an episode to talk about their split from JoJo. Remember, JoJo and Kath actually split up at the Big Brother after party, and Kath posted a video that they ended up deleting, talking all about JoJo and that breakup.
I will take accountability for the fact that the internet, oddly enough, did warn me, and I had my own instincts, but I chose to believe in what I thought was, I don't know, the kindness.
And I think it definitely wasn't handled properly, but it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good, troops.
And also, I think you're young. You know what I mean?
We keep it pushing. We keep it pushing. And I think right now I'm very lucky. I'm very busy and I'm very occupied and I'm very grateful. And I am also so much happier, which means I did the right thing.
Yeah. Kath says watching JoJo and Chris get all cuddled up on the show, combined with the anniversary of their close friend's death, proved too much for them, sending them into a meltdown. Kath says, but I knew JoJo had no idea what was going on. She didn't know what I'd been through. She didn't. She had no effing clue. Now, I think it's fascinating that JoJo is with Chris just because I love pop culture. We watched them like fall in love on a show. She cheated on her partner, even though I genuinely feel bad for Kath, and I actually feel bad for JoJo too. I feel like they're kind of a victim here. It's all really entertaining, though I do feel like JoJo has a pattern, and I don't know how long their relationship with Chris will last. Plus, I do think Chris is acting pretty creepy. Let's get into Austin McBroom from the Ace family. Now, nobody likes Austin McBroom right now. Maybe his girlfriend, but even that is debatable because Catherine McBroom has dragged him through the mud after exposing him for cheating on her. If you didn't watch last week's episode of the Let's Get Into It podcast, we talked about Catherine appearing on Call Her Daddy and detailing everything about her relationship with Austin. And something I really appreciate about that interview is that she did not hold back. So Austin looks really bad right now. Austin says, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for my response to the podcast, and if I'm being honest, I was very close at giving you guys exactly what you wanted. I'm not buying that. He goes on to say, I was getting ready to drop an atomic bomb. Okay, what would he have on her that he hasn't already tried to spew on the internet, claiming that she's doing drugs around their kids. He says, my little ass ran to Snapchat. I even went as far as getting dressed up and buying a pink chair. So he's trying to emulate what's going on there. I also think he's got trolling in his blood. He cannot help but to troll every situation, even if this situation should be serious. Austin posts everything in his life on Snapchat because that's where he's making money. So he did give us a glimpse into what he was going to do in his response to Catherine. And here's what he posted.
Pretty much you could just see the way I was. Yeah, I was crashing out a little bit. Look.
He's so unserious. What is this little man doing, running around stomping through his empty house?
What the?
Did he rip one of the plants out of the yard? Is that what he did? Look, it looks like he ripped, and it still has the soil on it. I haven't seen behavior like this in a long time. This comment reads, "This just shows how much he takes everything as a joke. He doesn't care about what he did, and he doesn't care about how his children feel about it." Now, it was quite the coincidence that Catherine's Call Her Daddy episode came out the same day as their daughter Elle's birthday, their oldest daughter. The Ace family is it's Austin, Catherine, and Elle. So they're all part of it. They're the original three of the family.
That shit broke my heart. And Elle doesn't deserve it.
Now him trying to make the podcast about his daughter's birthday, the kid won't even be aware of the podcast as long as you don't tell them. I mean, I don't think they're old enough to have a phone yet.
Elle called me this morning before school, and she asked me to come over to her mom's house so we can open up all of her birthday gifts to me. And obviously,
this reminds me of that commercial, in the arms of an angel, with all the sad dogs. It's not that sad, Austin, but you know what? He wants to be the victim so bad. At one point on Snapchat, Austin did admit that he did cheat in his relationship, saying, "When it comes to me stepping out of my marriage, I 100% stepped out of my marriage. It was completely wrong for me to do, and I take full accountability." Well, take accountability once, twice, 3, 4, 5. Well, he did this about 20 times. There's 20 different women. So there's a lot of accountability to be had. He must be really full if he's taking all of that accountability. But there was another moment this week where Austin tried to set up Catherine to look bad. And it was a moment where his daughter Elle called him crying because supposedly Catherine was on ayahuasca or some kind of drug and she was scared. And of course, Austin wanted to push this.
Scared?
Oh, he is? He's upstairs with mommy? What's wrong? You don't feel good. You want me to pick you up?
I mean, this is pretty scary too if your kid's calling you and your ex-partner is supposedly on these kind of drugs. I don't know what the implications of these things are. I thought that if you take ayahuasca, you need to have a guide with you to babysit you. So how could you babysit?
I want to pick you up? Okay, I'll pick you up. I'm about to eat this food and I'll come get you. What's wrong? Your stomach hurts?
Her stomach hurts. Also, keep in mind that when you do take this drug, your stomach typically hurts. So I don't know if he's setting this up.
This hurts.
Okay, it's not the stomach, people. False alarm. This comment reads, "Grown man recording himself using the kids for clout." Another person adds, "Sorry, but if my kid called me crying like this, asking for me to pick them up, I'd be getting up and leaving, not eating first." Which I also noticed that as well. I would be running out the door or at least taking my food to go. Thank you for watching this clip from the Let's Get Into It podcast. To view the full episode, visit the link listed below.